Yes, it's MCOC news time, and a new week of stuff that has happened in the, well, not a lot has really happened. A lot of the stuff that I'm kind of digging out is stuff that I found from the forum, and also some information from the last arena, and as well some deals that have entered in. So a very kind of slow time for MCOC news, but news nevertheless. So our first story is all about arena cutoffs. Now, I found this incredibly fascinating that when we did talk about this, guys, we did all talk about this, like what would be the fallout from the bans, you know, will that affect, or would that affect the kind of cutoffs for arenas? Now, this was the kind of like new champion in, so this was Vulture that was entered into the kind of the roster and as well as the arenas, and it was a bit of a surprise to see him go for 10.95 mil. Now, this is something that I don't know if it's because the character isn't as amazing, and like I've got like a video coming out where I'm using like a 3-star Gwenpool, and it was quite easy to have him. That L1 is very avoidable, the L2 is good, but again very avoidable. It's similar to Archangel based on the kind of spins of the wings, and then you just a third kind of evade away to kind of get away from that well, that kind of aftershock thing that's a bit of a nuisance. So that was, I don't know really why that was a 10.95. I'm happy for it. Like, if this is going to be a rated thing where we can get that kind of threshold for points lower, then that's going to be great. But if people were avoiding the character because he wasn't as good as maybe he was kind of hyped to be, then that could be a good reason as well. The next thing is that Captain America World War II went for 2.765 mil as the lowest recorded that we know of so far. For getting a 4-star, which is incredible, because a champion that is good as Captain America World War II really kind of points the question, like, was he not kind of gone for with the community? Do a lot of the community already have him, or, you know, I was advising people to go for like 3 to 3.5 mil for the champion. So it was quite good to see that a champion go of that caliber for 2.7, so that's pretty impressive. Even the 3-star was down on the usual, which was, you know, it's been kind of like pointing towards like 1.3, 1.4 mil. So that was good to see all these kind of champions kind of reduce down with regards to the points that you need to go and be put into. And that being said, if there's something that is ongoing with regards to lowering these down, I'm all for it. I think it's going to be great for the community, as well as we'll kind of get this kind of way that we were hoping all these 3 arenas would kind of function from the last time to this time here, and we still need more arenas in to kind of reduce down that score. And it should really be a case that we have 2 basics going at the same time as the one basic, the one featured even. So yeah, still work to be done to kind of reduce down those points, but still, this is a very, very positive step in the right direction. The second thing is it's all about Joe Fixit in the scavenger kind of like chapter, last chapter of the current quest, and in particular with the poison vulnerability. Obviously, I know that we kind of touched on this earlier in the month with regards to MCC news, and Kabam kind of responded back saying, hey, this is a bit of a kind of a joke thing. Don't take it too seriously. And it was just about the fact that you know, enemies meant to take 200% more damage while under the effects of poison, but the character is poison immune. So that's a bit of a nuisance. As well, this is kind of like talking about the fact that he comes as unstoppable, which, to be fair, isn't that bad if you're kind of like you're good with your kind of avoiding, similar to Unstoppable Colossus or even Juggernaut. Your kind of ability to kind of get away from that unstoppable should be a very kind of easy one. Obviously that will need time to just kind of home in that little bit of skill, but it's a very easy one to learn, to kind of keep your distance and kind of maybe work in a parry and then keep your distance. So that's something that you could look to do if you're having trouble with that particular Joe Fixit. But Kabam Wolf does respond to this and say, like, you know, okay, it's something that we need to make sure we don't do again with regards to the kind of poison immune, as well as the taking 200% more damage node. So work to be done in the future, and they're going to say that it shouldn't happen again, hopefully. hey, it can be worse than Unstoppable or kind of a kind of L1 on Spider-Gwen being unblockable, because that's cool. So this next story is all about this. It's kind of a mini rant by Apocalypse 810, and it's called Command's Logic, and it means for kind of a fascinating yet interesting, which is the same thing, kind of viewing. So I've put it in the description. It's kind of the argument about, you know, is Kabam's content tailored towards high skilled players, and it's like the lower rated players or kind of lower skilled players are not. You know, you need to spend money in order to kind of get that. It's an argument that has been kind of ongoing within the community, and it's something that always rears its ugly head. Like, people go, right, with the extent of the game being that, right, I need to pay my way to get somewhere in the game, and it's all kind of milk the whales thing. Do I need to then do that to get better 5 stars, and better 5 stars to then do higher and kind of more difficult content? And then if I'm a free-to-play player, or I'm like young and I don't have a job, or I don't have money, then like, how do I create such a platform for myself to get better characters to then go on further within the game? It's one of these kind of like real big arguments that that is out there. So I'd say take it with a pinch of salt, but it is something that if anybody wants to weigh in on that kind of ongoing scheme and argument, then I'll put a link to it in the description below. And it does mean for some interesting kind of conversations between people, which can be anything from being very condescending and rude to being very kind of understanding, and the kind of usual thing where people are taking different perspectives from it. But the forum's very kind of a good place to air out those frustrations. This article I picked up on the forums as well, and it's one by Cat World War II. I think we might have featured him in a previous video, I can't remember, but still I do like this. It's very kind of interesting with regards to what this person, Captain Cat World War II, believes to be improvements to characters. So things that kind of adjustments to characters, I think is good, and I think it's a good kind of platform for people to kind of weigh in and kind of improve those characters that a lot of us don't really take into consideration, or ones that need to kind of be look at and go, right, well, comic book kind of source material. You know, we got Luke Cage. Luke Cage for me is a big thing with regards to having his immunities in place and making those immunities more extensive and hard hitting. Like he is like immune to things like bleed, to kind of like anything. You got electricity. I don't think we're ever going to see someone doing like an acid attack. I think that'd be in very kind of bad keeping with the state of affairs with the way that people are attacking one another in the UK at the moment. So but nevertheless, like Incinerate, obviously he is bleed immune, like poison immune. Could you make degeneration immune? Probably not, because that's something that's complete. But still, padding to his immunities nevertheless to make him just like completely boss. And Cat World War II does open up it to you guys and say, like, everybody come on in and get involved with this. You know, add to the list of characters you feel should be kind of improved. So a link to that is in the description below. And our final story is all about the special for the 4-star Crystal Cache. Now, this is okay. It's all right. I'm not gonna kind of rave about it, promote it, because it's spending units, and it depends what you do with your units. Units should be spent first of all for masteries, and once you've used and kind of like got the masteries you want, and you got leftover units, you may feel that you want to kind of further yourself in content and endgame stuff. So then you'll use those units for that. Or you want to spend them on maybe some helpful things that come in, like resources. Sometimes we get the tier 4 basics at 450 units, and maybe even 2 for 900. You know, do look out for that one. But this one in particular is all about crystals, and I do always kind of have this kind of bugbear about crystals. When you buy crystals using units, you take a chance in that something could either be good from it or bad from it. These ultimate crystals that come with the 4-star here. Now the 4-star is usually 2,500 units. So imagine that this is 1,000 units saving. The ultimate crystal, well, if you use the cheap one, you're usually buying it for 1,000 and you only get the one, so you are theoretically saving about 2,000 units just off the bat there. Spider-Verse crystals, where you could grind those for free if you tried, and golden crystal, don't even talk about it. So look at this as an offer. You're saving, say, 2,000 units on purchasing 4-star crystal and an ultimate crystal. So take it as it is. If you want to buy it, then buy it. If you don't want to and would rather save your units, it's up to you. I myself will probably save my units. I'm probably going to use them for something like going for a Legends run, or maybe kind of getting myself right the way through Act 5 Chapter 2 to get uncollected as soon as possible. So that is something that I probably will be doing, but the choice is yours with that. So thank you very much for watching MCOC News. If you enjoyed any of this content that we covered, then please hit that like button. If you want to go to the links of the discussions of the articles, then they're in the description below. And hopefully there's some more exciting news will come our way, because, you know, I wouldn't mind covering something a bit more exciting than just stuff that's not really relevant. The Daredevil article for the other day was actually a pretty decent one, and actually, funny enough, we're talking about Daredevil, I'm actually utilising him a bit more, so that helped in some ways, and I can't wait for Kabam's improvements at the start of next month with the update. Hopefully there's no whiffs. There'll probably be a smell, but there's at least no whiffs. But thanks very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on social media, link is in the description below, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye, good luck for now.